Good afternoon, my bass fishing friends. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to look at the long anticipated video I've been promising for a while, the Ned Rig. Firstly, what is the Ned Rig? The Ned Rig is a finesse technique that you use when the fish is very finicky, the fish doesn't want to really bite, and there's a lot of pressure on the water. Like I said, it's a finesse technique, so light lines, small rods, light terminal tackle, finesse. You scale down your tackle to catch fish. The second part is we're going to look at the gear that we use, the rods, the reels, the lines. We're also going to look at the terminal tackle, and then we are going to look at the baits, and lastly we'll look at techniques and also where you can fish the Ned Rig. Okay, let's first start with the gear. In this case, spinning setup. Now you've seen this rod before. This is my drop shot rod. It's a medium action rod. It's a 7-foot rod. Very light, the tip is very soft to feel those bites. When you look at the videos that I showed you, then you will see that you don't have to hit the fish very hard, you just lift into them, and because it's an open hook, you will set the hook immediately. Reel, spinning reels. On this particular rod, I've got the 15-pound smash braid from Bass Warehouse. Then I've got the 12-pound elite fluorocarbon from Pesca. 8, 10, 12-pound leader. Perfect for the Ned Rig. If the fish becomes more difficult to catch, you scale down on your lines. Okay, then we are going to look at terminal tackle. Now there's a lot of places and a lot of companies that sell Ned Rigs. The one company that is very famous with the Ned Rig is your Z-Man. Z-Man made the worm that everybody knows, the finesse TRDs, that we'll show you later with the bait. But the terminal tackle, I've got a packet of the Pro Shrooms from, it's a very light wire hook, if you look nicely. It's got a head, which either tungsten or lead. It's got a wire keeper or some sort of keeper. Some of them, I'll show you another packet that is open, there is no weed guard. It's a very light, thin wire hook, and some of them they come with a keeper to keep your bait in place. Now usually they are flat, so they can stand on the bottom. With some of your Ned Rig baits, they float, so they stand up. Others don't float. So this is one of the hooks. Sizes, basically, if you want to go into heavy with your Ned Rigs, you can get all the sizes, because it all depends on the depth of water that you fish. If you fish in shallow water, 1/10 ounce, then your 3/16 ounce, very small light weights, because they cast very well on a spinning setup. Then the ones that I've been using a lot, that I unboxed the other day, was the Hillbilly Poison, the Ned Rigs. This one's fantastic hooks. This I started fishing with them and I'm well impressed with them. I bought a bigger size. It's also got the wire keeper. It's got that distinctive mushroom type head, and then it's got a very light wire hook. There's a lot of companies. Hillbilly makes them in South Africa. We get the Z-Man. We've got G heads from Gamakatsu, which is also a good one. Just this one, it doesn't come with a keeper. It comes with a little plastic keeper. which I didn't like much because they usually get they break off and then you have to take them off anyhow. So, but it comes with a little keeper for your bait. So this is very, you see, it's a very thin hook. So one of the things, like I said before, is that you do not hit the fish because you will definitely bend this hook open or you'll even break it. Finesse. The fish usually bites itself. You just have to lean into it. Okay, so that is the terminal tackle. That's what you need. You tie it on to your rod with your favorite knot, and you put your bait on that I'll show you, and you are ready to go. Alright, bait wise, different companies have Ned Rig baits. One of the companies that is synonymous with the Ned Rig is Z-Man, with the, like I said, the finesse TRDs. This is the finesse TRDs. This is a floating bait. So with all your Z-Man, basically the baits float. So this is a TRD. You see, it's got that elastic in it that stretches. So you rig it on and you are ready to go. It will, when you rig it on, it will stand up straight like this. It will stand up straight in the water like this. Now others, they don't, they lie down, but they are still effective. The other one that we unboxed the other day is also a Ned Rig bait. This is the TRD Hawk Z. This is more a creature type of a Ned Rig. I haven't used them yet. They look very interesting and they might work very well now in the summer. Also a floating bait. You can see it's got appendages that's going to stand up on your jig. You see, looks very good. Okay, then another company that's got some Ned Rigs also, very interesting, is your young. This is your young net dinger. I'll show you now how it looks. This one is very interesting because it's got a hollow point and it makes a different noise in the water. And then a very nice one that I think will be very good also, especially now after the spawn, and there's a lot of small fish and things, and the bass is really hunting, is this one. Now this one is also from Young. This is the Ned Minnow, and this is a very interesting bait because if you rig it on there, it's going to be very interesting when you bounce it. Alright. Then the other company, it's Itchy Secret Baits. It also have it's also like this, looks like this. It's also for a Ned Rig. And then one of the baits that you saw me use a lot and which I have great success in, and it got me into Ned Rig fishing, is your Guggen baits, the rattling net. Now this one I've got one rigged on here, as you can see, and if you listen, at the top of the bait, it's got a rattle in it. And the way I fished it was completely different, but we'll talk about technique. Very good bait. Now if you don't have all these fancy baits, there's a simple way of fishing the Ned Rig. So one of the tips that I'm going to give you is, if you don't have any of these baits, you can use a normal Senko. So usually you must not throw away your Senkos that are broken, because like this can be a wonderful Ned Rig. You see, you just put it on there on your hook with on your weight, and you are ready to fish. So okay, how do you rig a Ned Rig? A Ned Rig, very simple. We're going to use this bait that we've got here. This is your Ned Rig. Let me see, I think, yeah, let me use this one. So this one, what you do is you measure where you want your bait to come now. So I've got it there. So what I do is I just push my bait onto my hook till I feel that's sufficient, and then I just push it out, and you rig it as straight as possible. So this one's got a nice keeper on it, so it's going to keep the bait nice. And there's your net rig. Simple, easy, effective, and that's it. That's how you rig it. Okay. I hope that shows you how to rig it. Then, the next step is to tell you where to fish it. Now, it's obvious you cannot fish it into a heavy cover because of the open hook, and even if you have these ones on with the weed guard, you are still going to get snapped. You are going to get hooked up because it's an open hook. But there's a way that you can get around it. So what people have done is, they expose it. They put it in like this, they turn it, and then what they do is, let me just turn it nicely, and then what they do is they expose it so that the hook is just flush. You see? So when the fish hits, the bait comes out. Now mostly where the net rig works, what I found through my experience at Boskop Dam was that where it's clear, sandy, with little stones and rocks on the bottom, when you bounce them off those rocks, it is fantastic. So what you do is, you take your net rig, you cast it out, you let it sink to the bottom, and then what you do is, with this particular one that I've got here, the rattling net, what I did is, and I think you saw it on the videos, was I was shaking, and as I shake it, I turned the reel hand. So I was moving it, I was bouncing it on the rocks and on the sand. And because of the rattle, it triggered the bites. There is no wrong way of fishing the net rig. Some people cast them out, let it sink to the bottom, and just reel them in slowly. So the worm will just swim and the fish will take it. The most prominent technique that people started with the net rig was the bouncing of the net. They cast it out, let it hit the bottom, and then they will flick it. And flick it on a slack line. Just flick the rod so it will bounce. It will bounce. At Boskop Dam, I tried to bounce it. I tried the reeling. It didn't work. But as soon as I started with the rattling nets of Coogan, and I started shaking them and reel slowly, you will just feel the bite. Coming to that, how do you detect a bite? Very simple. Because the hook is usually open, what will happen as you shake it or as you lift it and it drops down, sometimes on the fall they will take it, you will just see the rod bend. And that is where it comes in, where I told you in the beginning, do not hit the fish hard. You do not need the kitchen sink to strike into the fish. You just need to lift into the fish. Now, one of the biggest tips I can give you, because of the light wire hooks that we use, is to make sure your clutch on your reel is quite loose, so that if the fish takes it, it can move away with the bait. You might think that no, the fish is taking too much time. Rather have it a little bit loose than too tight, because as it's too tight and it starts bending, and it's a very big fish, it can open the hooks because they are so light wire. There is certain areas like in frog fishing where you tighten down the clutch as much as possible. You do not want to keep that fish an inch so you can snap it. So in the videos that you've seen, we got a lot of fish on the net rig. Okay, I think we are done with the net rig. I hope I covered all the bases. I don't know everything about net rig. I am still new to it, but in this month that I was on leave, I've learned a lot about the net rig. And it was one of my go-to methods when the fish is really struggling. In one of the videos where you hear, my sister was fishing next to me and she was throwing out wacky rigs, drop shots, and the fish was there, but you could see them, but they didn't bite you. And as soon as I went next to her with the net rig and I started rattling the net, I got a bite. When she was frustrated, she said, but how I casted, that is how effective the net rig is. It's something different. It's something unique that the fish is not used to. Because everybody's throwing weightless sinkers. Everybody's throwing Texas rigs. So when you come with something completely different, you will maybe catch fish. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are happy with what I presented. Like I always say, please like and subscribe. Thank you for the support and for watching the videos. There's a lot of fishing videos still coming from my trip in September. So yeah, I'm still editing, I'm still getting there, but they'll be on the channel. Keep on watching. And tight line, see you on the bank. And if you meet me there at Boskop Dam or Donaldson Dam or wherever, come and say hello to me and greet me, and let's talk fishing and let's help each other. We are always learning. That's what makes our sport so interesting. We are never too old to learn. Thank you, goodbye, tight line.